Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video, we'll be going through my tips from round 5, round 4 actually, and going through and just looking at how well I did, as well as going through and tipping for round 5. Before we jump into the video, remember to put your tips in the comment section below, and let's jump into it. So, as you can see, I had a really good round. 8 out of 8, top 28%. So a lot of people got the perfect round. Total score of 26 and a rank of 245,726, which puts me roughly about top 30% or so, maybe just higher than that. So let's go through the tips that I had. So first game of the round, I had Collingwood by 21. They ended up winning by 17. So I was 4 points off there. That's a really good tip for the round. Put my round perfectly. Good start there. Then Geelong against Melbourne, obviously got this one right, as I had all the tips right. But I had Geelong by 12. I thought Melbourne would put up more of a fight, but they look horrific this year, so that needs to be taken into consideration. They won by 39 in the end of Geelong, so that means that I was 27 points off there on that one. Then we get to the likes of Gold Coast against Adelaide. A very, very entertaining game. This game was the game of the round 110%. And Gold Coast won by a singular point. Dodgy umpiring, etc. I got that one right. And so that's a tick. I was 15 points off there as well. Then we get to Richmond against Brisbane. I had Brisbane by 65. They won by 28. They kind of let everything off in the last quarter, which was kind of expected. They smoked them. So, yeah, I was 37 points off with that one. But again, an relatively easy tip there. Then we get to North against Sydney. I had my boys Sydney by 9 points. I didn't trust them too much. But luckily for Sydney, they have some guys projected to be back this week or next week. And Collingwood also have a couple injuries, so that may influence the tip. But Sydney I had by 9 points. They ended up winning by 65. That is 56 points off. I'm pretty sure the worst tip of the round. Yes, mathematically speaking, the worst tip of the round. That is that tip right, but off by 9 goals. West Coast against GWS. I had GWS by either 25 or 15. So this one actually could be the worst tip of the round. That is off by 81 point winners, which puts them off. I'm going to go off 25, which would be a 56 points off again, which second back-to-back tips off by 56 points, but got them right. Got the tip right. Port Adelaide against St Kilda. I had St Kilda by 11. This was an upset, and I was 6 points off there. And this was a big discriminator in terms of a lot of the rounds, I think, this week. A lot of people got 7 and 8. If you look at the tips here, Sydney, that was an obvious away game win, but the rest of the teams were the home teams. So this was the tip that differentiated the round, and I got it right. I was 6 points off, which is actually a really good tip in the circumstances. And then you've got Fremantle against Western Bulldogs to round out the early buys. And I tipped Freo by 13. They won by 16 in the end, so I was 3 points off there. A really, really good tip. I was really, really good in the close games, it felt like. In the close games, but the really big blown out margins, Sydney, Brisbane, and GWS, the games that should have been blowouts. I didn't get the tip too right. But anyway, we move on to round 5 and the tips here. So we get Adelaide Geelong tonight to start gather round. This will be an interesting affair. A lot of people tipping Adelaide, rightfully so, because they are 3-1. They barely lost to Gold Coast. They're probably the form team. Geelong have no Jack Henry, and I don't know if Colin Jasny is fit or not. AFL injuries. Let's just go to AFL injury list. Go to Geelong just to see. Adelaide have Isaac Rankin as a test, but he should play, whereas Geelong, let's just go to their injury list. You've got no one's a test. You've still got Colin Jasny out 1 to 2 weeks. That means that there's going to be a defender hole there, it feels like, or Tom Stewart's not going to be able to do what he does usually. So I'm going to go in this game with the home crowd, Adelaide. I think they make a statement here against Geelong, and I think they win by 21 points here against Geelong, which is a fair margin. But I just think that they're primed and ready to put on a massive score. I think they go 110 plus against Geelong, and Geelong, they could muster a score, but I don't know if they'll do too well. I don't know if the defenses will hold up too well for these two sides. Then you got Collingwood against Sydney. Collingwood massively favoured. Who have they played? Collingwood have played, if we go back here, lost to GWS convincingly, beat Port Adelaide. Port Adelaide crap. Beat Western Bulldogs barely. Western Bulldogs are all right. And then they beat Carlton. Carlton horrific. Sydney have lost to, who was it? Lost to Hawthorn by 20 points. Lost to Brisbane by 4. Then scraped by against Fremantle, who are 2-2 as well. And beat North Melbourne. I'm going to go with Sydney in this game. I don't know if people have cottoned on to, in the tipping at least, to Goey and also the likes of Schultz being out as well as Houston suspended. They have 3 big outs, whereas Sydney could get Melican and Harry Cunningham back. Harry Cunningham could really, really help on, there's no real, on like a Bobby Hill or someone like that, as he's done a lot of work on Charlie Cameron. So I think Sydney win this one in gather round by 14 points. And then you've got North Melbourne against Gold Coast. That'll be a quick, easy victory for Gold Coast. North Melbourne look horrific. So Gold Coast win this game by 24 points. Carlton against West Coast. If Carlton don't win this game, then Voss is gone. So Carlton are going to turn up and win this game by, I genuinely think West Coast could lose this by like 40 points. So I'm going to go Carlton by 36 points. I think Harry Mackay also should be named, which should help Carlton out massively. And should hopefully mean that Pitnet is not picked. Western Bulldogs against Brisbane. Brisbane just look like a rolling train at the moment, just headed straight back for finals. Their midfield is just so strong, and it's like there's no one there that's really getting too old. I don't think Neil might be 32, Dunkley 30, but you've still got McCluggage, Ashcroft, Bailey, Rayner, and they've still got they haven't even debuted Marshall yet, who was a top 20 pick, and he's not even injured. They haven't debuted a guy who's top 25 in the national draft is a winger because there's no space for him. So, yeah, I'm going to go Brisbane at the moment, and I'm going to go them by, I think 22 points. I think Western Bulldogs will put up a fight, but I think they'll be slightly drained from the loss at Freo with Freo. That was a bad loss for Western Bulldogs, not to overcome Freo, who had one on the bench for a quarter. Essendon against Melbourne. Essendon massively favoured against Melbourne, who are 0-4. Melbourne also lost Lever. Essendon have Zardes coming back, as well as Perkins and potentially Parrish, but Parrish I think is going through the VFL. So yeah, I think Essendon win this game. I don't think the Melbourne backline is too strong at the moment, and Essendon seem to be scoring really, really well at the moment. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure they are. 85, 100, and also a 72. So they're not scoring the worst, not scoring the best. That's about 85 a game, which is still above average. I'm pretty sure their defense just got smoked against Essendon. Sorry, not against themselves, but against Adelaide, who have the best attack in the league at the moment. But yeah, I think Essendon win this game by, I think, 15 points. And then we have these Sunday games. Richmond against Fremantle. I'm picking Fremantle in this. It is, I think Richmond, we see them slowly filter back towards the bottom of the table. You'll have Carlton jump them this week, so that'll leave him with only 2 teams below them. And I think Melbourne will get a win soon enough. That'll put them up above the likes of Richmond. And yeah, I think Richmond could be destined for 17th or 18th, depending on how good West Coast go. But yeah, Freo, I think they win this game pretty comfortably by 36 points, even with potentially Reedy as their sole ruckman. That could be interesting for Nank the Tank. Then we have St Kilda against GWS. Again, another game that I just see being an easy win here for GWS. They just look like they're going to absolutely win. And just, they look really, really good at the moment. Totally against what I predicted, which is totally on me. That's probably my Sydney bias showing through in the preseason. But yeah, GWS, they're going to win this one, I think. And they're going to win it by 25 points. And then you've got Port versus Hawthorn. Hawthorn, even without Will Day, or could Port Adelaide, Butters being back, Horn Francis, Rosie. Let's check the injury list. This would be Will Day, 3 to 4 months. Connor McDonald is a test. James Warple is a test, so they're still going to get guys back. Whereas Port Adelaide, if we just go to Port, where are they? There should be this one here. Lacoste, 6 to 8 weeks. No one else really coming back. Joe Berry. Fill the void left by Burn Jones, who got a suspension. I'm still going to go Hawthorn this game by, I think, 21 points. I just don't see Port Adelaide winning too many games this year. They're 1-3 at the moment. They're predicted after this to go 1-4, which, depending on percentages, could drop them to 13th, but 14th, because I have Essendon winning against Melbourne. So they could be 14th, if not even lower, if Carlton get a big win. So they could be 14th or 15th heading out of gather round, which would be pretty much season over for them. And the handover might as well happen now. But anyway, that is the video. As you might have seen as well, I kind of left the the trade targets up there in case you somehow missed them. That'll be rectified for the next video there. But anyway, if you guys did enjoy that, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload. If you are listening on Spotify, give me a rating and a follow over there, and I'll see you guys for the next video. Bye, guys.